Hi, and welcome back to your flexibility series. Today we're going to be focusing on the shoulders, chest, and upper back. So an important tool that I think every yogi should have that practices with me in their prop closet is a strap or a band, a foam roller, and a couple of blocks. So today we're going to start off with the foam roller. We're going to roll just a little bit to help to create better mobility before we get into these shoulder and chest, upper back mobilizers, stretches. So we're going to start off with the foam roller, just so your upper back. Bring your hands behind your head, lift your hips up, point the elbows in so your shoulder blades spread, and then roll back and forth in between your blades. And then you can even lean side to side in between your shoulder blades. And you can lean to one side to roll out in between the inner border of the shoulder blade and the spine. And then change sides. Now sit up for just a moment and you're going to get a good understanding of why we do all this. So take your right arm up, change sides, take your left arm up, and just notice any limitation in the range of motion. Then lie down onto your side, pin the lat and the side rib just before it comes to the bottom of the armpit. So you can see, like, here's the hair on my bottom of my armpit, I'm just below that. And then we're just going to roll side to side. And then take the roller up a little bit higher. Roll side to side. And then roll right up into the back of the armpit, where your external rotators live. And then come up to seated. Now that arm that you're just rolling out, raise that one up. Oh my gosh. And then do the other one. Still all crunchy. Okay, so let's get the other one. So this is just an amazing hack to get the shoulder to open up a little bit better. So lean into that. And then what you're going to experience is better range of motion when we go to do all of these exercises. And then lean it all the way into the back of the armpit. And come back up. Woo, pretty good. Okay, last one for the upper back. We'll sit with the buttocks down, foam roller in your upper back. And as you inhale, stretch your chest over. Exhale to curl back up. Inhale, roll your chest over. Exhale to curl back up. One more time. Inhale to roll over. And then reaching your side ribs out of your lower back, or side ribs towards your hips, front bottom ribs towards your hips. Stretch your arms over. Bring your hands back behind your head. Come back up. And then lie down onto your belly. So now we're just going to take a moment to wake up the muscles in the backs of the shoulders, because these muscles are habitually turned off in most people. So we're going to wake up those before we go into our deep stretching. So start with your forehead down. Hands out at your side, and as you exhale, you'll lift your hands up into a W position and then squeeze in the back of the shoulder and then lower it back down. Exhale, lift up into a W position, squeeze in the back of the shoulder,
Back down. Again, back up in the W position. Squeeze back of the shoulder. One more time. And back down. Then take your hands onto your lower back and let your elbows drop down towards the floor and lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. And just do that a few more times. Then slide your right hand behind your head and lift and lower your elbows to start to mobilize your scapula. Change sides. Stretch both arms back behind you, roll your chest shoulders open. Then stretch your arms all the way forward. And as you reach the hands down, stretch through the knuckles, through the fingers, reach through your tip of your tailbone towards your heels. Then slide arms back into the W position and lift your heart away from the floor. Feel your back turn on. And then slide your arms all the way forward again. Again, bend back into the W position or cactus position. Squeeze the arms, pull up, and slide forward. Again, pull the arms back, squeeze, pull up, and then lower down. Press up onto your hands and your knees. And then stand up on your knees, take your arms forward, round your back. And then as you exhale, pull your arms back. Pretend like you're like pulling resistance bands with your arms and squeeze your back muscles. Stretch your arms forward like cat-cow. And exhale, pull back, open up your chest. Arms forward. And exhale, pull back, open up your chest. Then take your arms up to the ceiling, turn the palms to face each other. And as you exhale, pull down, squeeze your back muscles. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, pull down, squeeze your back muscles. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull down. Then hold the arms up, 90-degree angle. Exhale, elbows in towards each other. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbows in. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbows in. Inhale, open up. Then take your arms straight out to the side, turn your palms to face up. Make little external circles with your arms, keeping your core engaged, your spine tall. Turn your thumbs in, make little internal circles. And then start to make big circles with your arms going forward. And big circles going back. Last one, bring your hands behind your head. Exhale the elbows in. Inhale, open elbows wide, heart open. Exhale, elbows in. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, elbows in. Inhale, open up. And then release. All right, then take your blocks and we're gonna do a little resistance external rotation. So hold the elbows up at 90 degrees and then as you exhale, lift your blocks up and inhale, lower the blocks down. Exhale, lift the blocks up. Inhale, lower down. And then hold the blocks out in front of you. kind of like you're, imagine that these are trays with food on them and you don't want them to spill in or out. And with your elbows right into your side body, as you exhale, take the right one to the side and then back to center. Left one to the side, back to center, both to the side. Right one to the side, left one to the side, both to the side. And then we'll start to move both of them in towards each other and out. Now hold them out and then stretch both arms straight out to the side, still keeping the trays tipped up. Arms in towards the midline, arms back out, bend in, back to center. Arms out, stretch out, blocks in towards the midline, back out wide, elbows in, hands in, back to center. One more time. Blocks out, stretch the arms, into the midline, back out, bend the elbows in. Now let's go over to the wall for a puppy dog stretch. So place your hands right at about waist height with the fingers turned slightly out, and then as you reach into the hands, let yourself sink into your shoulders more so than you'd normally do. Like normally in down dog, I don't want you to sink, but in this one, let yourself sink a bit into the shoulders so that you can see how much range of motion you can get for the shoulder. And then walk your toes to the wall. Stretch your arms straight up. And as you press the hands towards the wall, wrap the outer arms down, lean your upper sternum towards the wall. Press through your heels, reach up higher through the outer arms. Bring your hands back down to waist height. Walk back out. Reach into the hands, roll the outer shoulders down at first, and then let your heart start to melt towards the floor. One more time, toes to the wall, stretch your arms up, roll the outer shoulders towards the wall, lean the heart towards the wall. And slide your hands down. Then turn your back against the wall, and to work on these external rotators, we're going to squeeze the muscles of the back, bring the thumbs back towards the wall in this low W position. And as much as you can, try to push those hands back against the wall. Now front of my shoulders are pretty tight from surfing, so I can't quite get the thumbs all the way back, but I think you might be able to. And really squeeze, 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 pull the back of the skull up. And then lift the elbows a little higher and squeeze. Oh, no, get those thumbs back. Push back to the wall. Bottom sternum back in and down. A little higher. Push, squeeze back into the wall. And release that. Okay, good. Then take your foam roller out in front of you. And we're going to turn the thumbs up, and with the knees down, we'll slide the hips back and stretch from the armpits towards the hands. So just a different variation of the wall stretch. And then come back up. Then take your left hand behind your right wrist and start to slide the hand to the side, but at the same time, keep your hips as even as you can. Don't let the hips swing out. And then breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Come back up and change sides. Walk your right hand under and over to the side. And then come back. And then we'll come into child's pose. So with your big toes together, take your knees wide enough for your ribs to fit in between. Let's elevate the head so that we can get into external rotation better. So now instead of like the sinking that we were doing on the foam roller at the wall, now you're gonna wrap the outer shoulders down and push into the hands, and you'll feel a much different stretch. So important to get both movements. One to be able to stabilize and roll the outer shoulders down. One to just sink into the flexibility. Both are important. Ultimately, when we're holding the yoga pose, we want to feel that the pose is turned on instead of the sinking. And then with your toes curled under, start to sit back and then walk your hands over to the right, and we'll get into the lats a little bit. So you can even bend your right elbow, use the elbow to help to lean and stretch into the side rib. Breathe into that stretch. Walk your hands over to the other side. Come back to center and stretch into down dog. Let's do that rotation of the shoulders. Rotate the outer shoulders down, reach into the hands, and stretch the hips up and back. Instead of how low you can sink towards the floor, reach down into the hands and draw the hips up. Then set your knees down. Step your right foot out to the side. Bring your left hand up and over behind your head as you slide your right elbow towards your knee. So this is like the top arm of Gomukhasana. Breathe into the armpit chest as you're in the side bend. And release. Change sides. Come back up. Then take your foam roller out in front of you. Right knee down, push down with your hand into the roller and pull your belly up. And as the right hand presses down, take your left arm up. Release that and change sides. Push the left hand down into the roller, scoop the front of the pelvis up, buttocks towards the back of the knee, and take your arm up. Imagine that your spine was in traction. You're decompressing the spine, being pulled up through the crown. Hips, sit bones reach straight down towards the earth. And then lower that down. All right, now take your strap and make a loop with your strap so that your strap is shoulder distance apart. Now for this part, you could sit back on a block, or you could kneel or sit cross-legged or stand on your feet. Doesn't really matter. Whoever's comfortable, make sure that you're comfortable on your block setup, however high you need to be. Then take your arms out in front of you with the strap just across your forearms. Now as you press out into that strap, feel your upper two ribs start to widen, and then raise your strap up halfway. Now as your arms go up, your middle is going to want to kick out. Keep your ribs aiming straight down towards your hips, hips aiming straight down towards the floor, and then as you press out into that strap, raise the arms higher. Bring your arms straight back down in front of you and lower the arms at your side. One more time. Take the arms straight out in front of you. Press out into that strap. Now rotate your biceps out, triceps towards each other. Take the strap up halfway. Take the strap up all the way and lift from the outer armpits up into the hands. Feel the inner shoulder blades stay in their hinge on the back, release down away from the neck. So you lift up those outer blades up to the pinkies. Neck tall, spine tall. Sit bones aim straight down. Imagine you're being pulled up through the crown of your head. Bring your arms back down. Take your strap behind you and take it just above your wrists again, the base of your forearms. Now roll your shoulder heads up and back. Press out into the strap without pushing your middle out. And then see if you can start to raise the strap up behind you, still rotating the shoulders. And release that. Then come up to stand. And take your hand to the wall right at shoulder height. And with a little bend in the elbow, make as big of a handprint as you can on the wall. And then start to reach from the shoulder into the hand. So if you don't have a lot of tension in the nerves or in the forearms and your shoulders, this might not feel like much of a stretch for you, but this might feel very intense if you do have that tension. So it's an important stretch to work on. Whichever one you pull up tall through your crown and reach from your hips down into your heels. Release that and change sides. Put your left hand at the wall, little bend in the elbow, big handprint, and then start to stretch from the back of the neck down into the hand. And release that one. Okay, then have a seat onto, oh wait, I forgot this other one at the wall, my bad. Okay, so we're gonna take the hand back at the wall, turn the thumb up, and then you'll turn your chest towards the wall, and then start to turn your chest away to open up in the biceps tendon in front of the shoulder. And release that, change sides. So roll the front of the shoulder open, and then start to turn your chest away from the wall. And at the same time, imagine you're being pulled up. As you activate the spine, it'll increase the stretch. And release that. Okay, now come back to your block and have a seat on your block. Bring your legs into Gomukhasana position. You might have to have multiple blocks to sit like this. Take your strap over your left shoulder, sit nice and tall, and then take if your right knee is on top, take your right hand from below and left arm from above. Find your posture first, gravitational line, plumb line, sit bones straight down and head up over top of the pelvis. Feel the upper two ribs open. Turn your top arm, tricep in towards your face, and then reach through the elbow towards the ceiling. And release that. Change the cross of the legs. So I'm showing this like on the taller block because if your butt tucks under, it tends to pull everything down and pull on the shoulder. So we want to err on the side of getting more lift. So you might even stand up if your hips are really tight and it's difficult to sit up straight when you're seated. Take your left hand from below, right arm from above. Turn that top tricep in towards your face and then reach through the elbow as the inner arm bone drops into the socket. And release that. Then lie down onto your back. And we're going to prepare the arms for Urdhva Dhanurasana. So position the hands as if you're going to do Urdhva Dhanurasana. And this is a great exercise to start to teach the shoulder how to stabilize so that you can lift yourself up. So if it's difficult to get your hands onto the floor flat, no worries. By the end of this exercise, it'll start to feel better. So as you hold in this position, first action, turn your triceps in, elbows in towards your face. Then squeeze at the base of the back of the armpit. Then reach your elbows straight back. And relax. Turn the elbows in towards your face. Squeeze at the base of the armpit. Reach the elbows straight back. And relax. One more time. Turn elbows in. Squeeze armpits. Reach elbows straight back. Keep the neck free. And then see if you got your hands better onto the floor. Pretty cool. Release that one. So that's a great way to help your Urdhva Dhanurasana if your arms are flexible enough to get into the position. It'll help so that when you go up, you're not straining from your neck and your shoulders. Our finisher is going to be over the foam roller. So you can sit with your butt on the foam roller and lie back over it, and then start to open your arms out to the side and let your chest muscles spread. So I'll leave you here to hang out. You can hang out in this pose for about a minute, working the hands up and out to the side towards shoulder height, and then starting to introduce external rotation. And you can hang out in these stretches for about a minute or so. So thanks so much for joining me for this shoulder opening series. I hope you found it helpful. And I hope at the end, when you go to sit up after being on that roller for a minute, that you're gonna feel like your whole chest and shoulders feel more open. And what I talk about whenever I teach workshops on opening up the chest and shoulders, I talk about this being the key to prana, to life force energy. The more that you can sit with your shoulders back in position, your chest open, then more life force energy can move through you. Because when your chest is open, your breath can move all the way down into the bottom of your lungs. You're breathing deeper breaths all throughout the day. So it's an important part also of getting the chest and shoulders to open is that you're focusing on breathing calm, steady, smooth breaths. So each time you practice this series, visualize the stretches that feel extremely challenging, especially that you're taking a deep breath down into the bottom of your lungs. And that will also help to stretch and open up the tissues that are chronically squeezed in, tightened down. It'll help with your response to stress. Anytime that you feel stressed out, a situation where you normally react instead of act from and approach with a cool head, when you are all tightened up like this, you tend to be more drawn to reaction because you're in that like stressed out fight or flight mentality, versus when you're connected to your breath and the energy inside of you and your inner calm, then you're much more likely to deal with things with a more level head, cool approach. So it's pretty cool how just opening the chest and the shoulders can help to influence us in our day-to-day. Thanks so much for practicing with me.